The Bluebell Railway line in Sussex. Driving a steam train was once the ambition of nearly every schoolboy in the country. A handful ended up doing it for real.
The experience was better than any adventure film that you could ever imagine.
Clive Groome has passed his passion on to his daughters. As the Bluebell line celebrates its 50th anniversary, these real railway children are being groomed to take over.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls. And this is me, Clive Groome, their dad. We've all grown up a bit since those pictures were taken, even me. Commonly on a Wednesday, I meet my girls who don't live too far away, and we eat curry. We even have curry for Christmas.
Back in 1961, 7 years before the Railway Children television series came out, Clive Groome became an engine driver. Little did he know, the age of steam was about to end. Diesel and electric trains would soon take over. And a few years later, Clive resigned. Driving modern trains held no challenge for him. Like many others, he had been inspired by the romance of drivers like Ernest Potter.
The train gathers speed. Potter has behind him a 450-ton train carrying possibly some 800 passengers. In front of him is 200 miles of track, uphill, downhill, round curves and through stations, junctions and tunnels, past countless signals. Potter will unerringly take his trainload of passengers.
Well, the experience was better than any adventure film that you could ever imagine. I remember being at the cinema and thinking, while watching Errol Flynn doing some crazy exploits, I'm going to be having more adventure than this when I go to work at midnight. It was extremely exciting. You whiz through the countryside in rather a dangerous manner. Boilers should be strapped down firmly to concrete pads and not placed on a rolling frame and hurtled through the night at 85 miles an hour. But if you've tasted it, if you've got the smell in your nose and you've got the oil on your hands, then I think it's like a drug, you're hooked.
By the late 60s, though, steam had had its day and would have disappeared forever if it hadn't been for individuals who started buying up locomotives and bits of track. The Bluebell line in Sussex became the world's first preserved standard gauge passenger steam railway, but others soon followed, and Clive Groome's knowledge of steam took him and his family all round the country to see them.
I suppose we were real railway children, really. Probably from when I was about 8, we started going to the railway, and we kind of grew up there.
Over the years, the Groome family have taught 8,000 people how to drive or fire steam locomotives. But although they travel all over the place passing on their skills, the 11 miles of Bluebell tracks where the girls grew up have a special place in their hearts. Now, as the Bluebell reaches 50, the worry is there won't be enough youngsters to carry on working this £200 million train set, which has become one of the most popular tourist attractions in Sussex. Hard to believe then that this was once known as the Sulky Line, after British Railways were forced to reopen it in the mid-50s when a local woman discovered an Act of Parliament decreed that 4 trains a day should be run, stopping at Sheffield Bridges, Newark and West Hoathly. Sticking rigidly to the letter of the law, British Railways refused to stop at any other stations, got the Act of Parliament repealed and finally closed the line again in 1959. Just 1 year later, it was open for passengers again, run by an army of volunteers. 50 years on, there's still an endless list of jobs to be done, and as most of the founder members are now well over retirement age, it's time for the next generation to step in. But Clive Groome's daughters say they haven't always found it easy to win the respect of some of the older members, and progress through the hierarchies has sometimes felt a bit slow. Especially for Clive's youngest daughter Liz, who is desperate to become a driver on the Bluebell line. But despite serving her time, it hasn't happened yet.
I passed my senior fireman's test 3 years ago. And when I did that one, I'd been asking to do it for quite a long time. That took a long time to get. I mean, altogether now, I've been a fireman for 10 years here. And we used to tell people it takes at least 10 years from cleaner to driver, and it's now 10 years since I've been a fireman.
The fact is that no woman has ever qualified as a driver on the Bluebell. Though women have been doing the heaviest work, firing, for many years, Liz could be the first.
The controls on this engine are incredibly hard. Elizabeth's only got small arms, I don't know how she does it. That regulator is almost impossible to open and shut. She's got stronger muscles than me now.
With steam trains, you can't book a test like a car. You have to wait to be asked, and Liz isn't giving up.
I've been told that I'm third in line for my test, and I know who the other people are, and I don't think they've heard anything either yet about it, so it is just a waiting game at the moment.
With 30 resident locomotives on the Bluebell line and a collection of almost 150 carriages and wagons, the Bluebell goes from strength to strength. Last summer was a good year, and now the volunteers are fundraising. They've got an ambitious plan to join up with network trains again. But the big question remains, who will run the line for the next 50 years? It's not always easy for the railway's founders to let go, but Clive Groome is more than happy to take a back seat, watching his daughters handle the machinery in what was once an all-male environment. And there's other machinery on the move too. They're already extending the railway line right into the heart of East Grinstead, relaying the old tracks to take steam trains into the town centre after an absence of more than 50 years. The last bit of the journey is across a viaduct, and in its shadow are houses that weren't even built when the sound of steam engines last echoed across this valley. The Bluebell line has left its mark on families up and down the track. Volunteers have met and married here and seen their children grow up as part of an extended Bluebell family.
The railway is lucky in that it has a fair number of young people coming along, and it's going to depend on them and their continuing interest to keep it going. We'll stand back then and look at it and see them operating it, hopefully in the way that we think we would have operated it, and I'm sure they will. And it'll be a wonderful thing to see a new generation going into the future with these old, lovely machines.